So we're at my parents' place, and this is our solar setup for today. And we got the solar powered house there. And we're considering staying in the tent because we got a lot of people staying here tonight. A nice little fire going. And so we got the power charging there. That's just a single battery power it. I might be changing that soon, not sure. I got the lipo box running the fridge. Fridge got some beverages and some muffins and food and whatnot. You got a heated 12-volt blanket that we'll be using to power it for. That takes about 50 watts and whatnot. Alright, so just getting ready to go down below. I'm at the cottage again, the beaver pond. Oh, the beaver dam broke and now it's like a beaver swamp. And so we got Amber there. She's anxious because she usually is allowed to go free, but there's a bunch of dogs here, so we can't let her free right now until we go down below. These are the old panels I installed a couple of years ago. Installed it with the little uprights, worked great. Doing the same thing again on all these panels. And so they're almost doubling. So these are 150 watts each, and these are 240 watts each. So yeah, they're almost doubling their wattage. I just got all this extra wire here. Gotta run it down the roof. This is fairly temporary because in the next year or two, these shingles have to be redone. Probably 2 years, I'm thinking. If they're lucky, they might get 2 years. But yeah, they're really... So this is the inside of my grandparents' house, and we have two systems now. This is now the old system on the PWM, the 12-volt panels. And these are 24-volt panels, 3 of them in series on the MPPT tracer. And we have this coming in. This is for the late morning and evening sun, and this is for early morning and mid-evening sun. It's still making some power, as you can see. It's 12.5 amps, and this one is at 32.2 amps. So before I installed the system, they're always going slightly backwards in power. 900 watts wasn't quite enough, but now with an extra 750 watts or so, they get plenty of power. And the batteries, even on this old inverter here, not old. This is that SWI power inverter. 12-volt model seems to be amazing, except for this red light's always on. I don't know what's up with that. I think it's because it's getting close to shut-off voltage. But this inverter is really good. The 12-volt model, my 60-volt model, I believe that they didn't do proper testing when they made it, and they know how to make a 12-volt model. 60-volt model they haven't made a lot of, and they use components that probably weren't spec'd to go up to 60 volts, and that's why they died. That's my guess anyways. This one's been working great. We run vacuum cleaners, toasters, all kinds of stuff off it, and it works great. Still got the 7 of these Unity batteries. It's a cabling mess because I just installed it. I'm gonna wrapping things up. I try and make it as neat as possible, but it's all flush mounted, so there's nothing you can really do to make it look perfect. Yeah, looking good. We got our solar coming in where you'd normally have your mains power come in, because this house is totally off grid. We're way up north here. Anyways, thanks for watching. So here we got the off-grid system, 10 o'clock at night. This is the battery voltage and the load. I got the two systems hooked up here. 12.4 volts, which is a lot better than what it was before. Everything's working well. Chinese inverter still working pretty good. No problems yet. It seems to be a lot better than my 60-volt model. And I'll update you guys again on cool days now, this is what I'm going to use to heat my house, or help heat my house. I set the 22. It is currently 19 inside, 14.8 outside. Got a battery voltage here. We've been holding about the same voltage just because it is cloudy outside. I'll show you that in a second. So this is what we're dealing with outside. Sun, cloud, sun, cloud. Got full sunlight on the panels, on all the panels, which is awesome. More panels in the garage, or in the shed to put in. And I started my lift kit. It's going to be about a 4-inch Bilstein lift. It's got cheap and by Al rear springs, Bilstein shocks, Bilstein shocks in the front with I believe it's Old Man Emu front spring. So that's my Jeep modifications, and I got a new ATV. It was actually my dad's. My dad has one now and I have one now. He had 2 before, he gave it to me for a very good deal. So yeah, let's go inside and take a look at what things are like inside. I used this fishing the other weekend, left it on the raft up north, and it got a little bit wet. But it still works, and it's drying out and still charging, so that's always good. Got the massive LiPo box there. It's not charging yet because I'm not charging the batteries too much yet, but this is the power we got coming in at the moment. And then here's the power we got going out. See if I can get it. There we go. We're pulling 2,124 watts. Oh, behind the cloud. This is why we're not going anywhere. I've been at 59 volts all morning. Because we're just pulling too much stinking power. This thing is off. I find this app doesn't work very well if you don't use it a lot. I hardly ever use this app, just when I'm curious about my power. At least this part here, the estimated monthly cost. Everything else about this app works really good, actually. There you go. Oh, there we go. Sun's come back out. 3,000 watts going in, 3,200, 3,400, 3,500. Wow. I have 3,700 watts of panels. A lot of those panels mounted flat. Some are facing the sun, and I'm still almost getting my rated capacity. And it does help that for every 3 panels I got a set of 8-gauge wires running, so I do have very little losses in my lines because I overspec my wire. And yeah, we're looking good. 8,000 watt inverter just laughs at this 2,000 watt load, runs it no problem, doesn't even get warm. The fans hardly ever turn on, but when they turn on, it's not even very warm air coming out. Like on the top here, I can feel it's a tiny bit warmer inside the unit, not much. So we're looking pretty good. Liking this thing a lot so far, but one quirk, I'll have to show this on camera sometime. This at no load, or at say at about 100 watt load or less, the sine wave goes a little bit funky. Like it's still a sine wave, but it has a couple flat sections, and like it's not a perfect sine wave. But the second you put more than 100 watts on, oh, there the fans go. Yeah, this is cool air coming out. The second you put on more than 100 watts, or around 150, 200 watts, the sine wave goes nice and clean again. So this isn't a great inverter if you're only going to run very small applications with very little draw all the time. There's something with it, I don't know what's going on, but other than that, I really like this inverter a lot. So hopefully it lasts a long time. Somebody on YouTube said that they had the 6,000 watt model and it lasted 2 years. I'm hoping to get at least 5. If I get 5 years out of this, I'll be happy. That I expect to get 20. So I got my classic 150 here, putting out 3,000 plus watts still. 56 amps at 60 volts. And I got a little something from my grandpa here. Let's see if I can get this here. Put this down. Look what we got here, guys. We got another classic here. Midnight. My grandpa got this on trade. My grandpa Barter's couple bought this for an off-grid system. Ended up divorcing and just having to sell everything. Got it for a really good deal. So I am trading with my grandpa. I got the older tracers. He wants a 24 volt system because he also, with this inverter, you got a 24 volt Samlex inverter. And so I'm going to set up as many of those tracers as I need. I got 3. So all 3 together are almost the same price as this, and they put out almost, no, they do, they put out the same wattage. So in comparison, he doesn't need something that goes up higher than 24 volts where I do. So it just worked out that he's able to use these charge controllers. I'm able to use this one. If he ever needs this one, I'll trade it back for him. But yeah, so in the meantime, I get to use this anyways. It's just gonna be going on the wall. It's gonna get another 4,000 watts of solar panels, and that's going on the big gel bank. But yeah, I've been just actually, I just turned this off the other day. I left this on charging through the system for a couple of days at a time, and the batteries were just being floated at about 55 volts, and it was perfect. Anything else? These are working flawlessly. I got a bunch more in the mail. Very happy with these still. I haven't had a single battery go out of balance out of all these batteries. Not one. The first batch that I put in once, the first initial charge, it went, it started balancing a little bit, but that was it. Ever since then, it's all just balanced out and worked really well. And this camera is also pretty sweet. Thanks for watching, guys. Well, I got the strut out. Got an empty wheel well. I've been using this Harbor Freight Earthquake. It's pretty good. It's not near as good as they say. Obviously, it's not as good as Snap-on, but for the price, it's not bad. It works pretty good. Got my new Bilstein suspension. Uses some pretty heavy-duty coils. I'll show you in comparison. Like, I don't know if you guys can see the gauge difference, but these are at least 20% thicker, at least. This is the heavy-duty model. And I just wanted to share a little life hack that I learned. I don't know if this is already on YouTube, it could be. But that takes a lot of air. And I also have a little air cutting tool. And most people, including myself, at home have only a little compressor. It doesn't provide all that much CFM, and you also have these leaky hoses. Should probably tape that up. But I have 2. And compressed air works just like batteries and everything. You can put them in parallel. So I have a female or a male end on this little hose, and it goes into them. So now they work together as one compressor. So yeah, now I should get double the CFM coming out of this, double the tank capacity. I just hooked this up. I know this works because I use this at work sometimes when I can't use my big compressor. I use 2 little compressors, and it works really well actually. So that's what I'm going to use to get the air that I need for my tools. Just thought I'd share that quick little life hack.